You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks, it's time for this exclusive. The National Urban League, they are demanding that Florida Attorney General move a crime conference, a criminal justice conference that the Florida Urban League affiliates were going to participate in away from Donald Trump's Doral Resort in Miami. This took place after I received an email from a concerned viewer about this conference. I then reached out to Marc Morial, the president and CEO of the National Urban League. He was not aware of this particular conference and the involvement of the Miami Area Urban League. As a result, Marc Morial has released this statement exclusively to Roland Martin Unfiltered. And it says, the Florida office of the Attorney General's National Conference on Preventing Crime, organized in partnership with the Florida Consortium of Urban League affiliates, must be moved from Trump National Doral and Resort in Miami to avoid the appearance of partisanship in an election year. The summit, which is focused on curbing youth violence, is scheduled for May 27 to May 29th at the resort owned by President Trump's company. In the statement, Morial says, quote, our Florida affiliates devote tremendous time and energy to crime conference each year and have enjoyed a valued relationship with the Office of the Attorney General, Morial said. The event cannot be seen as a tool of political influence or used as a vehicle to funnel money to the President of the United States while he is running for re-election. Morial noted that the appearance of political partisanship could threaten the 501c3 status of the Florida affiliates. The National Urban League and its affiliates are nonpartisan advocacy and social services organizations that have proudly worked with elected officials from every point along the political spectrum. Morial said, we cannot allow a political controversy to distract us from our mission of economic justice and civil rights. The leaders of the Florida affiliates stand ready to work with the Office of Attorney General to find a new location for the crime summit and move forward with the important work of helping young people find alternatives to violence. That is according to Marc Morial. Now, again, folks, I was made aware of this particular conference. I reached out to Marc Morial about this to get an understanding of what was the involvement of the Florida chapters in this whole deal. And in fact, if you actually go to the control room, you can pull the website up. If you actually go to the homepage, it is called Florida Office of the Attorney General National Conference of Preventing Crime. And it lays out the conference, where it's taking place, the various sponsors. The platinum level sponsors include Derrick Brooks Charities, former NFL player, Florida Consortium of Urban League affiliates, Florida Department of Corrections, Florida Department of Juvenile Justice, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, gold level sponsors, the Florida Commission on Offender Review, Florida Department of Children and Families, Florida Department of Health, Hillsborough County Aviation Authority, Tampa International Airport, and the silver level sponsors of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Broward County Sheriff's Office, Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. And again, if you look at, so all conference sessions were supposed to take place at Trump's National Doral and Resort. And so they have the fees on here as well. And payment information was supposed to be made to the Urban League of Broward County. The Urban League of Broward County. Well, Marc Morial has now made it clear to all of the Florida affiliates that they cannot participate in this conference, cannot take place if it is going to be held at Trump's Doral Resort. And so, again, this is something that we were made aware of and reach out to Marc Morial. I want to bring in my panel here. We have Erica Savage Wilson. She's the host of Savage Politics Podcast. Also, Reese Colbert, Black Women Views, of course. And so I want to start with you, Erica. This is obviously a big deal here in terms of the Florida Urban League chapters in partnership, the Florida Attorney General. I don't understand how in the world the Florida folks did not see that this could be a problem holding this at Trump's Doral Resort. The PGA Tour canceled their tour stop at that particular resort. Many other people have canceled their events taking place there. And in fact, Trump initially wanted to hold the economic summit, the G7 economic summit at his Doral Resort, overruling his own people. But when he got so much blowback, even Republicans, he announced it was not going to be held there. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that it's more of what we've been accustomed to seeing from the grifter in chief. So my mind automatically goes to, I wonder how much the costs were. The other piece around this is thinking about the Attorney General's position. I'm thinking about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida back in 2016, had a re-election campaign, and right around the time that she was going to be possibly suing Trump University, a $25,000 donation was made to her campaign. And here we are 2 years later with her being on Trump team. So I think that breaking up the nexus between doing favors and appearing favorable towards this regime and this occupant of the White House is definitely something that's very much so necessary. And then the other thing is shining a light on him as well. So really glad that this definitely provided some sort of notice was provided, and that it seems like the steps and measures to not only be out of this conference, but he also disregard, so to speak, or renege so much on where the conference is going to be held is really important in having some sorts of checks and balances that happens with this regime.
Reese, your thoughts on this?
I think that holding the conference at Trump's resort definitely makes it seem like almost an endorsement of the Trump's agenda. And the National Urban League certainly wouldn't want to give that impression. Trump has a very problematic criminal justice record, even though he did help, or he signed in the First Step Act. So I think it's very important to distance themselves from this. I don't know if this was incompetence or, you know, what else was afoot here. But obviously, the Florida Attorney General, who's a Republican, has an incentive to try to kind of kiss up and enrich President Trump. But the Urban League should have absolutely no parts of this.
And again, so what happened was someone reached out to me regarding this particular conference. I then immediately sent an email and text message to Marc Morial, who was not aware of this. He said, let me do some checking. And then, of course, this was earlier this week, and then sent the statement to us. We got the statement first before it goes out to the public. And so, again, this is the Urban League CEO, Marc Morial, saying that the Florida chapters of the National Urban League, that they cannot participate in this conference if it's going to be held at Doral. And he is asking them to move this conference away from Doral as a result, saying that they do not want in an election year to be perceived as partisan, and certainly for monies going to the coffers of Donald Trump. And so that's what's going on. So I'm quite sure the Trump organization and Donald Trump might be commenting on this once they see our report. And so those things will happen. All right, folks, back to that Roland Marc Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, are you looking to enhance your leadership or that of your team in 2020? Well, you should join Dr. Jackie Hood Martin for her newest online course and mastermind group, How Successful People Think. She'll be your guide as you learn timeless leadership principles to apply to daily living. The offer expires on February 28th. That's this week. So register for or start the online course today. Go to www.live2lead.com/Leesburg. Live, L-I-V-E, the number 2, LEAD.com/Leesburg. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.